fun story about Roger Ailes. Apparently there is one. He's speaking at Ohio University, and of course, as he usually does, he throws bombs at everybody. He says that New York Times is a bunch of lying scum. He later has to walk back that comment and say, Fox News executive said he might have gone too far on that one. But he says the AP, New York Times, and MSNBC are all unbalanced. That's awesome.
Right.
Because Fox News is, of course, totally balanced. And, of course, he goes on his famous and familiar rant about how Obama has not been vetted yet. This is a classic lunatic right-wing talking point. You don't know the real Obama. Man, if we really got into Obama's dirt, you would find out that he's black. Did you know he had a black pastor like Reverend Wright? So his thing is, he says, we still don't know anything about Obama. Look, your idea was he's a scary black man in 2008, and God forbid if he becomes president, what might happen? Here's what happened. He became president. Nothing happened.
Right.
Okay? Unfortunately, nothing happened. He didn't bring change. He didn't bring anything. Okay? It's the same old stuff on Wall Street, etc. Then Roger Ailes decides that he's going to take on Jon Stewart or say some interesting stories about him. What did he say there, Anna?
Well, he basically said that Jon Stewart would be nowhere without Fox News, right? Which is, I could kind of understand that statement because Jon Stewart makes fun of Fox News. That's like his shtick, right?
I know, so that's kind of funny, right? Because number one, of course Jon Stewart would be fine without Fox News. He'd just make fun of other things. Number two, Fox News definitely helps him.
Right.
No question about that. But number three, it's amusing because here's the head of Fox News basically saying, we're so ridiculous that we make Jon Stewart's job so easy for him. That like he does so well because we're a bunch of morons and we just serve up softballs to him all day long. Well, thank you for admitting that.
Now, Roger Ailes has to go much further than that, right?
Of course.
So then he claims that at a bar, Jon Stewart had once admitted to him that he is a socialist.
Oh my God, oh no. Oh no, he admitted he was a socialist. Oh. Okay, first of all, how amusing is it, the idea that Jon Stewart would come up to Roger Ailes at a bar.
Hey, Roger, what's up? Let's share those peanuts. Let's have a beer.
And that he'd admit to him like these deep, dark secrets he wouldn't admit to anyone else. He's like, oh, you're the head of Fox News? Great, let me tell you all the things I won't admit to anyone else. Okay, go. It's so hilariously implausible. Now, here's probably what happened, right? Mm-hmm. They were probably at some fancy shindig together. It happens, you know, something along the lines of White House Correspondents' Dinner and stuff. They both happened to be getting a drink. They had a conversation. This is one of my guesses as to how it went down. And at some point, they got into a political conversation, and Roger Ailes interpreted what Jon Stewart said to say, like, aha, I knew it. He's a socialist. Right?
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, come on.
Or it's not that far-fetched that Roger Ailes was never even in close proximity to him, and he just made it up. Like,
well, that's also
he was
possible.
never in the same room with him at all. And he was just like, yeah, I was in a bar with Jon Stewart. Said he's a socialist.
Yeah, that's it. And Obama was there, and he admitted to being a Maoist. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. So anyway, I believe that they had a conversation. It would be weird for him to make it up. On the other hand, he's an incredibly weird guy. But look, I just wanted to address the substance of this for a second. Because everybody keeps throwing around the word socialist. And the reality is no one knows what it means. Like, we looked it up. There's like 87 different definitions. And I'm like, am I missing something? Isn't a socialist simply where the government does some, functions and private industry does some functions? So what I mean by that, for example, the government runs the post office. Mm-hmm. But then there are private industry that also does FedEx and UPS. It's a mixed system, right? So we run the police as the government. We build the bridges. We run the schools. We run the military. So there's an excellent argument to be made that the United States of America is socialist. Oh my God, socialism! But where the government runs something.
We need to move as far away from that as possible, Cenk. Okay, we don't want to have a socialist fire department.
No, we don't.
We don't want a socialist police department. We don't want a socialist military. No more government spending. No more tax dollars should go toward the military. It should be a private industry.
Now, Anna's right. Immediately defund the Pentagon. That's what Roger Ailes thinks, right? He doesn't want any socialist military, right? Okay, but in all honesty, the problem is that they do partly want to do that. Not defund the Pentagon, believe me. They want to funnel all the money in the world to there. But they do believe in private armies like Blackwater. That's proven to be a disaster. They do believe in private security to protect the rich. Roger Ailes literally believes in that for himself, for others at Fox News, etc. and everybody else be damned, right? But look, communism is crazy because the government runs everything, including making sneakers, cars, etc. I don't think that's an efficient system at all. I think it's a terrible system, right?
Jeez.
I think free market capitalism, in the fundamentalist way that Roger Ailes is talking about, is also a disaster. Oh, let the banks regulate themselves. Let's see how that turns out. Well, we saw how it turned out. It turned out to be a disaster. And, you know, in some parts of the country, they're cutting the fire departments. I mean, it's gotten that bad, right? And what happens? Houses burn down. But here's the problem. Okay, let's say you didn't pay your insurance for the fire department. We used to have this system. In America, in the old days, we did. And you know what would happen? The problem is one house would pay the insurance, the other one wouldn't. And when they wouldn't put out the fire in the house that didn't pay the insurance, it would spread to the house that did pay the insurance. In fact, it spread to the whole block and then the whole city. It's a terrible idea. We should have socialist fire departments, not capitalist ones. These things are obvious, okay? So in the reality, a mixed system is the much better way to go. And the only question is, which functions should the government handle and which should private industry handle? That is a very fair and reasonable question. But to say, you're all socialists, Jon Stewart's a socialist, it's asinine.
It's really interesting because Republicans will make the argument that the government should not be in the position to protect us, right? In some cases. So they are in favor, and I'm not saying all, but people like Roger Ailes are in favor of privatizing the fire department, the police department. Government shouldn't be protecting us, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're the same people who will argue in favor of spying, wiretapping, basically violating all of our civil liberties in the name of national security. I thought it wasn't the government's job to protect us.
Yeah.
I mean, they're such hypocrites. It's unbelievable.
No, it is, because what really explains their so-called ideology is authoritarianism, where they want a certain group to be all rich, all powerful. They get to spy in on you. They get to have all the protection. You get to have none of the protection. See, it doesn't make sense if you think that their ideology is libertarian, where they're in favor of small government. You're right. You're like, it's hypocrisy. It's not logical. But they're not libertarians. They're not conservatives. They're authoritarian, meaning I get all the power, I get all the wealth, and you get bupkis. And my job is to lord over you. That's what Roger Ailes believes. And that's the whole driving ideology of Fox News.
Finally, I'm stuck on the idea of government-designed sneakers. Like, what would the Obama administration design for sneakers? Would they be fashionable? Would they look like nurses' sneakers? I'm very curious. I love that idea. Like, would they even care?
See, what Fox News would do is they take you out of context. And they'd be like, see, Anna Kasparian
loves
the idea of socialist sneakers by the Obama administration.